Father's Night. It was Halloween Eve, and orange lights flickered over the damp streets of the old neighborhood. 17-year-old Lucia walked with a cigarette dangling from her lips, her hands tucked into her denim jacket, and her makeup smeared. Around her, her new group of friends laughed and pushed the empty shopping carts they had stolen from the convenience store a few hours earlier. "So what now, Lucia?" asked Rafa, the loudest of the group, as he threw an egg against the wall of a clothes store. "We could go scare those brats in costumes," Carla added with a crooked smile. "We take their candy and film their faces." Lucia looked at her with disdain. "Is that all they have?" she said, blowing smoke out of her nose. "Stealing candy from children. So what do you propose, drama princess?" Sonia replied, rolling her eyes. Lucia smiled faintly. "Why don't we go to the house downtown? You know which one. The one they say is cursed." The group was silent for a few seconds. They all knew that house, the abandoned Ortega family mansion, closed for more than 20 years. No one had lived there since the owner was found dead in the basement, along with several bodies that were never identified. Rafa let out a forced laugh. "Are you serious?" "More than you are," she said, taking another drag on her cigarette. "What, are you scared?" And as if it were a challenge, the group accepted. Near midnight, the 6 young people crossed the rusty gates and entered. The interior of the house smelled of dust, damp wood, and something rancid, like old meat. The walls were covered in mold, and the curtains hung torn. An old lamp was hanging from the ceiling. Camilo turned on a flashlight. "There's nothing here," he said nervously. "Just a pile of trash." "Perfect," said Lucia. "Then we can drink in peace." They sat in the main room, surrounded by bottles and laughter. Music played from a small speaker, and the echo distorted the voices, but amid the laughter something else could be heard. A creaking in the ceiling, a light knocking behind the walls. Sonia stood up. "Did you hear that?" "It's probably rats," said Rafa, opening another beer. But the tension began to grow. One by one, they got up. Carla went to the bathroom, but never returned. Camilo went to look for her, but never returned. Lucia sat silently, watching the others grow restless. Rafa grabbed a rusty bat he'd found and went upstairs. A few seconds later, a piercing scream shook the house. When Sonia ran toward the stairs, the first thing she saw was a dark stain of blood running down the steps. "Rafa!" she shouted. There was no response, only the sound of something dragging on the wood. One by one, the young men fell. Camilo was found hanging from a hook from the ceiling, his eyes gouged out. Carla lay in the bathtub, her face buried in the red water. Rafa, or what was left of him, lay in the hallway with his neck twisted at an impossible angle. Sonia tried to flee, but a blood-covered hand dragged her toward the basement. Her scream was the last to echo in the house. Lucia walked down the stairs slowly, without fear. The air was heavy, and the smell of iron permeated everything. In the basement, the killer stood over Sonia's body, the knife dripping. He was a tall man, his face covered by a mask made of old, thickly stitched skin. His eyes shone behind the holes in the leather. Seeing her, he didn't move. He just waited. Lucia smiled. "I knew you'd like them," she said softly. The man took a deep, agitated breath. Lucia approached, kneeling before him, as if he were a child before his father. "I promised you," he whispered. "This time it was 5, but I'll bring more soon. The kids in the neighborhood don't suspect a thing." The man dropped the knife and placed a bloody hand on her head, like someone caressing something precious. Lucia looked at him tenderly. "Halloween is almost here, Dad," he murmured, "and everyone has to celebrate with you." In the distance, from the basement, the sound of Lucia's laughter and the killer's moan mingled with the wind. Outside, children were trick-or-treating, oblivious to what was happening behind those broken windows. And as the moon rose over the village, a new light was kindled inside the abandoned house. A candle and 6 new masks drying in the darkness.